These are the pieces that I've painted up with some silver stain yesterday and fired, and I just wanted to show you what they look like when they come out of the kiln, which is basically no different to when they go in the kiln. So I'm going to give them a wash now, and you'll see that this dry residue comes off and there'll be a yellow stain left behind. You can see some of the yellow stain is taken up on the kiln paper, and you must be careful to change your kiln paper after you've used silver stain, because you fire it face down, and that yellow shadowing on the kiln surface will stain any piece you put in afterwards. So always change your kiln paper after you've used silver stain. I washed the glass and I'm not happy at all with the results. It hasn't taken very nicely, and I suspect it's something to do with me having disturbed the surface of this glass so much by cooking it at such a high temperature to keep the glaze, or to keep the shine. And I've also got a bloom. So I'm going to abandon the idea of using silver stain to put yellow on the glass, and I'm going to double up my glass with yellow or maybe orange glass behind it, and I think that will be quite a pleasing effect. So I cooked these at, I took them up to a temperature of 701, which is really hot, and I rested them for 15 minutes, and I'm really pleased that they haven't all broken, and they're looking really good actually, so I'm happy with that. So here are my pieces on the design. This one piece here I cooked upside down, so the high shine is on the wrong side, so I'll have to put that one back in. The dullness comes from its contact with the kiln shelf, the kiln paper. So I'm quite pleased, and what I'm going to do is, for example, take this orange piece where I have sandblasted to clear and put yellow underneath it, and then I get a really pretty graduation between the orange and the yellow. So I'll cut this shape out of the yellow, and that will go under there. And then I've got this rather beautiful glass, which is light orange and dark orange, and depending on my design and which pieces are going to be what colour, I will put orange underneath, and maybe a dark orange, something like this. Yeah, maybe something like that. And then I'll get the graduation between the red and the orange. There's my design. So I get all sorts of options with this technique, doubling up the glass, and I can work with the movement of a piece of glass like this. I've decided that I'm not happy with the colour that the blue and red have come out. So that's my design, and the blue's really pretty, but this is such a dark red. I mean, it does look red when you hold it up to the light. You can't see in this video, but it's such a dark red. It's not really what I was going for. So I think my only option is going to be to use a combination of blue flashed glass and red flashed glass. So blue on clear and red on clear. So if I use a blue sheet and I make that clear, and then I use a red piece and I make that clear, when I put them together, they should work. It should read as red and blue. So I will recut all these pieces. I will polish fire them. Well, no, sorry, I'll recut them. I'll sandblast them, polish fire them, and yeah, I think I'll be happy with that then. So that I don't get confused, I'm going to mark up this piece. So it needs to be blue at this top end. So I'm going to sandblast this away to about there. You always have to double check which side the flash is on, the flash being the thin layer of colour. So again, I want blue this end, so I'll sandblast that away. So you can see which is the flash side by just looking directly through the edge of the glass, and you'll read a coating on this side and clear through the middle. Now, I'm quite careful when I'm cutting flashed glass because it is very expensive, and also I don't have an unending supply. You see, that's a bit annoying because it would work that way around. It would be the right size, but it doesn't work the other way around. Sometimes when I put the glass away, I'll put an F on the flashed side, just so that I don't absent-mindedly cut it the wrong way around.